Glad to have B Foster back, man. I seen you went to Atlanta to celebrate Sweetest Day, or you down there celebrating Big Meech coming back home. You're muted.
Y'all celebrate? I forgot y'all celebrate Sweetest Day in all the Midwest, because I heard it's not even everywhere.
But you know that's why Midwest is the best. You heard it here first.
Right.
I was about to two-step.
Where did two-step come from? Is Chicago is a two-step city, or is it Detroit?
We jit. We jit.
Oh,
y'all jit. Juke or whatever y'all do. I don't know.
Oh, we do all of it, man. But welcome back. Welcome back. NFC North Roundtable. Who will be king? Week 8. Half the season's we're almost at the halfway point of this season. It's flying by, guys. And you all had the game of the week, maybe the game of the year last week. And my team was off. We'll talk to the next game. We'll talk about the next game of the week, which is coming up between the Bears and the Commanders. We'll get to that later on in the show. But we got to recap the off weekend for the Bears and the game between Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings to settle up who's the number one team in the NFC. I was going to say NFC North, but it's actually NFC, the entire conference, right? So let's get the Detroit Lions perspective first, because that game was bonkers. I remember I sat down like maybe 5 minutes late, and it was already 2 touchdowns already scored.
10-0.
10-0.
10-0, right? Mm-hmm. So let's start off real fast. Guys, how did that game sit for you guys as Detroit, as a team that won? What did you all do special to beat the Minnesota Vikings? No one else has done it this season.
Well, for one, it was one of those things where you kept your composure. Minnesota has a tendency to jump on opponents early, and they did. I mean, they haven't broken that. They were up 10-0 before you knew it. It was 3 and outs for Detroit, and they were moving the ball. So you had to keep your composure. They had to. And then there was a what I thought was a fumble, a turnover that they changed. I don't know what happened. I had the volume down, but we fumbled on their side of the field, and we're already down 10-0. And they go to commercial, they review it, and the Lions keep the ball. So that was huge. And I don't know if we scored on that drive or not. But that was a huge turnaround, because we could have been 13 or 17 down 13 to 17. But I think the key thing was composure by the Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't pretty to start. Dan Campbell took an early gamble in the game, did a fake punt, kind of gave unnecessary field position to the Vikings. We lost contain on Aaron Jones. He got to the outside, scored a quick touchdown. But once we got going, I mean, Jared Goff had another game where he had nearly no incompletions. He had like 280 yards passing. St. Brown kind of got back active. Montgomery got hurt early in the game. He kind of took a back seat to Jahmyr Gibbs, who shouldered quite the load throughout the game, and we got a really solid effort from the defense. The linebackers contributed 3 sacks. We got another interception from Brian Branch. The 2 safeties we have, kind of like I talked about early, last week. We have 2 of the best safeties in the entire league, and they really showed up. Held Jefferson under 100 yards this week. Held everybody under 100 yards as far as receivers are concerned. Yeah, but it wasn't pretty. There was definitely some things to clean up in the game, but we got the job done. We had some Taylor Decker had some issues off the corner. He got Jared Goff sacked quite a few times, and we had a fumble. Like the one thing I said that we didn't need to let happen was to allow the Vikings to score off of defense or to give up a turnover, and we gave up a fumble recovery for a touchdown that almost hurt us. But yeah, we were able to get stops when we need to, and our kicker got the job done late in the game. This guy was a Michigan Panther in July, and he got it done in a big way.
Let's talk about him for a second. You, not the kicker, Jared Goff. You brought him up. Over the last 3 weeks, 58 for 68, 7 touchdowns, no picks. June, Foster. It is about the midway point of the season, and it's about that time you can actually start having a legitimate MVP conversation. Is his name in that conversation? And if so, where is it?
If it's not in the conversation, it should be. I don't think there's anybody that you can pinpoint right now because there's a bunch of contributors that you can actually give that to. He should be in the talks. Now, I'm not, there's a couple other names out there that's been balling, but his name should be in those talks, in those conversations.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. His team is 6-1, and he's got 5-1. It's something. Yeah, 5-1, and he's got 111 QB rating. So I mean,
talking about Lamar Jackson or Jared Goff.
Nobody's talking about Lamar Jackson, right?
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure because I want to make sure I didn't get lost in that conversation. But yeah, you're right. It's 5-1 because that's where you threw me when you said the record. It's 5-1.
Oh, in the record. Okay, yeah, my bad. I don't know. We got 1 loss. I know that much.
Right. 5-1. I think I agree with you, June. If you're having a conversation, it's not a legitimate conversation. It's not at least one in earnest. If Jared Goff isn't in the conversation, you can only put maybe one name ahead of him, and that's because he had a game on Monday Night Football. He does what he does. But Jared Goff has been lighting it up. It might be the only time in NFL history where you had a quarterback one for quarterback one trade, and it worked out smoothly for both squads. But other than that, it didn't all go the game at the end of the game. It wasn't so smooth for Detroit because news broke around Monday Night Football that you're going to be down that budding star on offense, Jameson Williams. What happened this time?
He only had -4 yards in the game.
Yeah, which is it is what it is. He didn't, for whatever reason, he didn't even do anything in the game, but a performance enhancing substances, which I don't know if it's a joke, but they're basically saying it was like a rhino pill or a honey pack.
I ain't mad at him. If that's what it was, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, young man.
There's a lot of work out here, man.
Rumble, young man, rumble.
He's way too young to be at the gas station asking for hey, back there. I need
Those
that
young,
back there.
yeah, you don't even want to say it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the youngins, that's what the youngins be on.
Hey, man, do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, he definitely deserves suspension if that's what kind of time being on. He deserved that suspension. He earned it. He earned it.
Yeah, he got something out of it.
Hey, Dave. So you guys, the Minnesota Vikings, formerly 5-0, first time tasting defeat this season. Did it feel like you thought it was going to feel when the first time you was going to take a loss?
Well, first off, a hat tip to my brethren from Detroit. That was a fantastic game. Did it feel like it? Well, yeah, sort of. We knew we were going against the best team and the best quarterback in the league, and it was going to be a rough one. Now, like I said, we came up balls, and it was 10-0, and then we gave up 21 points in the second quarter. It's like, oh. But we came back. We didn't let them run away. We went ahead, and if it wasn't for a couple bad play calls, we could have salted that game away and snuck away with the win. But they're too good. Hey, their QB, Goff, went like 16 for 16 on his first 16 passes. And in his 17th or whatever one it was, he threw out of bounds or into the ground to avoid a sack. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like he was missing. He was dead on. And they exposed a little something in the Vikings defense. The way Beeflo plays with the zone coverage, the hidden zone, and all the disguising and stuff, what can beat zone but a dagger concept? And they threw a lot of daggers to effect. Now, granted, we had Blake Clashman, our number one middle linebacker, out, which didn't help. But it helped. By exposing that, it helped the Vikings, hopefully, determine what they need to do to move on. And that's get more pressure with minimal people, 4 people. But we'll see. Hopefully it comes down to week 18, and we'll have both teams playing for the division and the NFC again. But we'll see. But it was a great game. Absolutely fantastic. Had you riveted to your seat the whole time. We were loud. The stadium was loud.
Yeah, you didn't want to miss a play.
Yeah, and it didn't seem to affect Goff whatsoever, unlike it did with Houston. So, or every other team we play. It was a masterful game, and it was fun to watch, even on the losing end. But it was a good, if there's any such thing as a moral victory or moral loss, that was a good one. We didn't screw up terribly. We didn't, piss down our legs. We didn't do any of that. It was a hard fought game, and it ended up with the better team winning on this day. And like I said, I give my hat tip to Detroit. They now are number 1 in the NFC North. Now,
let me add to that though, too, Dave. Like, there's always doubts on how good any team is, especially young young season at 5-0. And it kind of erased any doubt that I had watching that game. Like, oh yeah, they're for real. The quarterback, he's very accurate on deep throws. He's reading the defense. He's making some pinpoint passes. Darnold it's not a fluky season. He's for real. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't in those MVP conversations as well.
We got to win some more games, which our schedule looks good for that.
Yeah, I think
I don't foresee you guys not winning more games though. All right, like that team that played Sunday is for real. This division is for real, and I think outside of the division, it'll be a lot of success, and I think within the division, it's going to be a lot of beating each other up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
And I sent this week to the chat that if the playoffs were today, all 4 teams in the division make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. Look at the divisions. There's look at the records. There's some people with the division leaders are first place at 4-2.
But I guess realistically, once we all start playing each other, that probably won't be able to happen unless we all split.
Happen. It probably won't happen because it just doesn't happen. That's just one of those things that don't happen.
Right.
I think there's going to be a lot of wars within the division.
Mm-hmm. Even with Chicago.
Yeah.
Even with Chicago, because Chicago's definitely got to put their name in this conversation as well. Dave, I had Darnold leading the MVP conversation prior to the explosion from this past weekend.
Jared Goff, by far, passed him.
Yeah, I would agree with that because his, like I said,
Goff
I read off the numbers.
slow the first 2 games though.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 games, Goff started off really slow.
Mm-hmm.
Those last 3 games, this is a "what have you done for me lately" league.
Yes,
and, we don't throw shadow or think about those earlier games as much as what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of what just happened, Dave. So, you said we knew we weren't going to go through the season undefeated. We were going to take some lumps here and there, but I think with this game, you proved without a shadow of doubt the Minnesota Vikings are here to stay and are going to be a force to be reckoned with in 2024. Do you think that, as presently built, though, that the Vikings are ready to compete? Do they need to make any moves?
No, I strongly encourage Mark and Ziggy Wilf, our owners, to pressure Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah to go get that one key person to put us in our Super Bowl window early. And that key person is a defensive tackle, a difference maker. My favorite choice is Sexy Dexy Lawrence from the Giants, but the likelihood of that coming is not, because New York Giants, that's somebody you build off of.
They love him.
Dexter Lawrence has 9 sacks already this season as a nose tackle.
That just doesn't happen. That's Warren Sapp-esque type stuff.
Or at least Warren Sapp or better. That's just huge. Well, there's Jeffrey Simmons of the Tennessee Titans. They're outstanding young defensive interior guy, nose tackle again, a little bit smaller than Sexy Dexy, but an outstanding nose tackle in his own right. And then I get a message this morning. Do a graphic, Dave, because they're in talks. And of course, every time I do a graphic for something that I've got word on, it always falls through. And again, today, it fell through. They were supposedly, from what I'm being told, the Vikings were in talks with the Titans about trading for Jeffrey Simmons. But the Titans said no, especially after trading, who was it? Their wide receiver to the Chiefs. So,
Nuke. DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes. And if you give us a interior defensive lineman that could get pressure, what that means for the Vikings is they can get pressure with rushing 4 rather than blitzing so much and trying to get pressure like we did on the weekend against Goff. We blitzed at like a 60% rate or whatever the heck it was. We got the highest blitz rate in the league. And that's 2 years with Brian Flores, he tends to do that. But that's to cover up because we can't get the normal 4 pressures, pressure from the 4. We've got 2 great edge rushers, but it's the interior guys that we would love to get more pressure from. We do that, then still playing the zone, or it allows us to play more man. We defeat the dagger that tends to beat us. So that's the key. Once we do that, we're golden. Super Bowl, here we come, hopefully.
Super Bowl, here you come, hopefully.
Hey, it's been since 76, brother. It's been a long time.
A couple of times in the last few decades, I thought he was real close.
Yeah.
That 1998.
Yeah. 2017, 98, 2000. Yeah. 87.
So you hit on something there, Dave. You shared a graphic in which if the playoffs started today, this entire division would be in the playoffs. Do you foresee? Well, I'm not going to even ask, what about us, right? Because I think all of us are pretty good. And I think all of us, it continue to build on our success that we had so far in the early season. We'll be in the playoffs. But what about those other teams? The three other, will it be 3 others? Yeah, three other playoff teams that in this conference. Who would you think they would be?
Well, we got all 4. So right now, the Lions own the division at the moment at 5-1 with a 1-0 division record. We're in second at 5-1, but with a 1-1 division record. And then comes the Packers at, what is it? 4-2? No.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
4-2. 5-2. Yeah, because they haven't had their bye week yet. 5-2, and they're 0-1 in the division. So they're a half game back, and then we beat them. And then comes you guys at 4-2, right? Or 5 or 4-1.
No, we're 4-2.
4-2. Yeah. With no division games yet.
Well, we still got 3 weeks until the Bears have their first division game. They have crazy. The Commanders, Patriots, and I'm blanking on the other team that we're going to beat, the Cardinals. And then we gear up and start playing the real teams, the good teams of our schedule, the NFC North. Before we take our break, I did want to ask this question, and this is, I want to bring in one of the other teams that we don't talk about a lot, the Packers, right?
Gotta go over. They won their last week. Now it's on the last second kick, but
we did think they was going to beat the Texans, right? We just knew that there's something that they have that gets underreported, because who wants to talk about the Packers, right? It's natural to not report what they got going on. That's good, because the Green, who cares? But they secretly have possibly, maybe, the best defense in the division. It could be argued. It could be argued, and I think so. The question that I wanted to ask is: do you all think that Xavier McKinney is in play for Defensive Player of the Year? And the other person I would throw out there is Van Ginkel for your team there, Dave.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to find out.
I think.
I'm looking up DVOA now.
McKinney, I think he leads the entire league in takeaways, or not takeaways, or maybe interceptions. He's been that good.
Kirby Joseph is right behind him, though.
Yeah, Kirby Joseph right behind him. You all talked earlier about your safety tandem, Branch and all the others. And the Bears do have one of the top corners in the league, and Jalen Johnson. The defensive player, the point I was making, the defensive player of the year conversation begins and ends with this division.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the Packers end up winning that game. They put CJ Stroud through a personal hell Sunday. 81 yards total. Tank Dale had I don't even know if Tank Dale played, to be honest with you. He didn't do anything. They sacked CJ Stroud 4 times, I think, 4 times for like 60 yards lost. It's crazy amount of numbers. So I'm not a Packer fan. You're never going to confuse me with somebody who's even throws shade, throws shadow on them, because I don't like them at all. But if we're around this all the way out for this division, this division really has no weak spots. The Packers, even though I think Jordan Love's playing a little down this season, but their defense is propping him up in a major way. The Bears are doing what they got to do, and as we talked about, you two guys leading the conference, Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings leading the conference and leading the MVP discussion with your 2 quarterbacks.
And what you got to remember is that when you talk about defensive player of the year, look at the trajectory Hutch was on. I mean, that's null and void now, but
yeah, it's a shame.
6 sacks.
Looking up Aaron Schatz's DVOA as of right now for the defense, Green Bay comes in ranking 12th.
You'd be surprised who's up top, though. It's crazy.
Chicago ranks 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit ranks 5th.
As far as what?
DVOA.
What's DVOA? Sorry.
Aaron Schatz. It's one of the more popular stats. It's deviation over average. How he computes it, and there's a whole bunch of things that go into it, and strength of schedule and all sorts of other stuff go into it, and it's weighted and this and that.
Cool, you play it. Okay.
Yeah, and of course, number 1 is Minnesota on defense. Yeah, and mainly because strength of schedule.
Yeah,
has played a huge part into that. The first few games we had blowouts, but then it was strength of schedule because we played some tough teams.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost to the best one overall, the most balanced one, I would call it, in the league right now. Or at least, for a while. Now, when you talk about whole teams, they have Baltimore number 1, Detroit number 2, and Minnesota number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then it got Green Bay number 8, and Chicago falls to number 17 because of Chicago's offense.
Still a work in progress. We're getting there.
Yeah, but hey, to make the playoffs, you need to be top 10, preferably top 5 in at least one of the 2 categories, and mediocre in the other one. Without that, you're on the bottom, looking up. And all 4 teams fall into that category.
Okay. Yeah, the Bears need to go ahead and try to break into that top 10 as far as total teams. We're getting there. We're going to start this weekend. So let's go ahead and take a break before we talk about the upcoming games and why does Minnesota have a second bye week this season. Stay tuned. So remind me, well, I know who you all play this weekend, but for those that don't know, Detroit plays who coming up in week 8?
Tennessee Titans, the team you guys played earlier.
Tennessee Titans, because this whole division plays the AFC South this year.
Yes.
So it's your turn to play the Tennessee Titans. It's your turn to have a day off. You need it. Yeah, you after playing that hell of a game last week, kudos to you guys. But humor, what's some of the keys that we need to look for you all to go ahead and quote unquote win this game?
And business as usual. Don't turn the ball over. Make sure that offense is doing what is being efficient. I think if you can keep Goff clean, it bodes well for the offense. Defensively, they're not that big of a threat offensively, but you still got to line up and play ball. You still got to be disciplined on that side. You still got to I think you win in the trenches. You got to do your best. You're without Hutchinson. Those other players have to step up. This is a game where you can actually find you can actually see who wants it more in the trenches. So
yeah, and this team is interesting because, like you said, they are ranked 31st overall as far as offense is concerned, and I really feel like their offense has failed the defense because they're ranked number one over, like not considering because obviously strength of schedule and all that plays into the overall thing, but they are ranked number one overall against the pass and 10th against the rush. But it's not reflected in the points allowed overall because they have given the ball away so many times. They have a -9 differential as far as turnovers are concerned, and that is what's accounting for a lot of the points that they've given up because the defense has been pretty strong. They're 31st in takeaways, so their defense does not take the ball away, and their offense has, I think. Will Levis has thrown a couple pick sixes, and but what's crazy is prior to them trading away DeAndre Hopkins, they had a pretty solid receiving core. They have Burks, and they had Hopkins, and they had Calvin Ridley as well. So it's not for a lack of weapons. And they run the ball pretty decently. They have the guy from the Cowboys, I can't think of his name. And then they got Spears as well. So it's kind of odd that they're 1-5, and this team will be prepared, although it may be viewed to some as an off week. But those are traps when you go into the game with that type of mindset. And I think that after blowing out the Cowboys and having a strong victory on the road, which they were both on the road against the Vikings as well, they can't, fall asleep at the wheel because they're at home against a team that hasn't fared well so far.
Well, are they looking ahead to the Packers game?
Tim in the comments says, "Don't play with
do
food."
that.
No, can't play.
Lions don't do that.
No, Lions don't. Lions don't. But you said Will Levis thrown a couple of pick sixes. Will Levis, though, not even a quarterback anymore. They had Mason Rudolph taking snaps out there last week. So I don't think Mason Rudolph is I wouldn't call him an upgrade. He's probably a little bit more steady as far as boneheaded plays are concerned.
Right. Because
he's been in the league a little longer. He's from Pittsburgh Steelers, so he's had a good coaching atmosphere to groom him. I don't even know if I should use that word, but Will Levis, on the other hand, he's made a what I want to say. I don't want to say career, but he's had a penchant for bonehead plays. So hopefully, you all go ahead and get your business out there. Get Mason out the game because you didn't put them through so much hell that they say, all right, pull the starters. Well, get back out there. And then you get a gimme. Get a little free candy right before Halloween. I like that for you guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Who's Minnesota got this week?
We play tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday night game. Yeah.
Yeah. Down in Hollywood.
The Rams.
Against the Rams.
Any word is Cougar Cup's going to be out there?
Supposedly. Puka Nacua just came off. He just entered his 21 day and probably will not. But Puka Nacua, but Cooper Kupp, I'm hearing, is most likely a go. But we're going to find out. Just like TJ Hawkinson. This will be the last game, if they keep him out, that he's out, and then he's got to be elevated to the squad. So it's going to be interesting, but it's tomorrow night, prime time. We're ready to rock it.
What does rocking it look like against the 2-5 Rams? But yeah, they just got their second. They just got their second win on the season after beating the
Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah, by 5. I don't know why they made the Rams a 7-point favorite. That was an easy money. But go ahead, Dave. Tell us. What's
rocking it would be something similar to like when we played Houston, where we just absolutely dominate. They've got nothing on the left side of their offensive line. We should get pressures all day on Matthew Stafford, and then their defense is not spectacular. We should score, hopefully, almost at will. So there's going to be, I'll grant you this, there's going to be more purple in the stands than there will be blue and yellow.
Really?
Yep.
Is there a Prince convention going on in LA? Are you telling me Vikings fans are traveling like that?
Yes, they are. And there has always been a ton of Vikings fans in LA. And that stadium's going to be full of them.
Okay, Dave. Nice to hear. I don't think this is
we're wearing our home team. I just saw on Twitter today, we're supposed to be wearing our home unis, which means they're wearing their dingy white, whatever you want to call those, or whatever the heck it is, the stuff that looks like armpit stains, color uniforms, the creamies.
Whoa.
The off whites.
Yeah,
off whites.
Yowzers.
Oh, they're horrible.
I don't think the Lions have played the Rams yet this year, right?
Yes.
First game.
Oh, that's right. You all did. So you've got the Lions as an example. You've got the Bears as an example of what the Lions can offer you. Now, not the Lions, but the Rams can offer you. Now, I would not use week 1 as the best example because that was a way different team than what you're going to see in SoFi this week. More so what the Bears played a few weeks back. The Bears got constant pressure on Matt Stafford and forced some bad throws from him. And other than Kyron Williams, that offense was not existent. And I mean, you hit it right on the head, Dave. The defense from the LA Rams is very Olay. Other than Jared Verse, who's a pretty good rookie. He's showing out right now. He's having a good rookie campaign. Other than him, I don't think there's much to worry about on the other side of the ball as well.
All I can hope for is that we don't get that jinx of, every team that played the Detroit Lions loses the next week spiel.
That's
never
a
paid
thing.
attention to that.
Breaking them down.
That is a thing. They have that record because playing the Detroit is that tough. It's that physical.
What if you beat Detroit? Do you still lose the next week?
They did.
I was gonna say only one team has done that, but yeah,
they did lose the following week.
Wow.
Tough game. It was a tough game too. That was close, kind of.
Yeah,
that was close.
8 Mile curse, huh?
8 Mile curse. I don't know if I like that.
All right, so there's another. I said it at the beginning of this episode. The game of the week for week 8 will be between the Bears and the Commanders over in DC, formerly known as FedEx Field. I call it Poop Water Field. If you know, you know.
Okay.
We don't know yet if Jaden Daniels will be playing this game. He got taken out of the game last week early against the Carolina Panthers for, I think it was a rib contusion.
Yeah.
And he didn't return. Now, if you go by body language and stuff like that on the sidelines, it didn't look like he was in a lot of pain. So if you've ever hurt your ribs, you can't fake that. You know, that pain is very noticeable. It's hard
to breathe.
It's hard to walk. It's hard to do anything that you normally do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if just by going off what I saw from on the sideline, he didn't look like he would be in danger of missing any time. Now, however, the injury report comes out and listens week to week. Week to week can mean a lot of things, but a lot of times it means you miss at least one game. For the sake of all of football fans, not just Bears fans, but football fans in general, I hope he plays this Sunday, and I hope he's close to 100% because we want that action. Bears fans, we want that smoke. Everybody that was saying, "Oh, the Bears messed up. They should have took Jaden Daniels number 1." No, spin the block. Come back to that one. We want to talk about that one again, right? So hopefully we can figure out some way to get that down. But thinking about outside of just the quarterbacks, the Commanders and the Bears, how they match up. I think the Commanders are dealing with a little bit too many injuries on their defensive line. All right, they had all pro level guys in Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen. Neither one of those guys are healthy at the moment. That gives the Bears a very, very good advantage. Right, it gives Caleb a little bit more time to process things going downfield. Gives our running game more holes to get to the second level. On the defensive side, I don't think there's much. I don't feel like the Commanders' offense is that complex. I feel like it's more amateur, and I don't mean that in a pejorative. It's a lot of RPO type action that they've been running this season. It's a lot of naked boots. Obviously, you want to use Jaden Daniels' athleticism to your advantage, right? You have a weapon, use the weapon, right? As I say in Game of Thrones, you have a dragon, be a dragon. That's what they do. Now, I don't think that's a unique look for the Bears. I think the Bears can handle that if Jaden plays. If Jaden doesn't play, they have Marcus Mariota. We've all seen Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota has a ton of tape out there. I don't think that's going to be a unique challenge for the Bears either. I think there's plenty of opportunity for the Bears to put their stamp on that game in Caleb's hometown and go ahead and continue this winning streak that they're on. This could possibly be their third win in a row. That's if all things go correct, right? But just based off of everything that I've said in the tail of the tape, I think the Bears are leading this right now. I saw the books, DraftKings in particular. They have the Bears as a underdog as of right now, though. But I think that's definitely hinging on the health of the quarterback. That'll take a disastrous swing if Jaden doesn't suit up. But like I said, they said he's week to week. Typically, that means at least the first week that you miss. But I'm fingers crossed that he does play.
I'm looking at ESPN. They have you guys favored by 3.
That must mean he's doubtful now. They must have Jaden coming out.
And their matchup predictor's almost dead even. It's got you favored 50.2% to 48 or 49.4.
Yeah, people in the comments are saying he's doubtful.
Where the last 0.4 people are, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't exist.
They're undecided.
Undecided. But I mean, all right, let's new information. If Jaden is doubtful, the Bears are winning this game. Go ahead. The Bears going away. The Bears are winning this game.
So essentially, if Jaden Daniels doesn't play, this is a bye week for you guys.
Oh, whoa! We're not where the Detroit Lions are. We don't get those.
I mean, you can't say we have a bye week because we play a lesser opponent.
I can.
We're playing a backup too. Technically, playing Rudolph.
Yeah. Well, I mean, true. in essence, you're correct. However, the Lions are here. The Lions came into the season as the cream of the crop of the
You're only
the
a game
conference.
behind the Lions, though.
But we all know the Lions are playing for it's Super Bowl or bust for the Lions. The Bears are up and coming. They're still learning how to win. Lions they know what they got to do. They know who they are. They know their identity. They know what to go out there and handle. Right?
Rain the compliments. Keep them coming.
Yeah, I'm going to give you your flowers. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
People are going to mistake you for Deion Sanders with the way you're backpedaling. That is like the smoothest backpedal I've ever seen.
I don't necessarily think it's a backpedal, June. I feel like when you are head and shoulders above a team, if you handle your business,
man,
it could be a good
commercial or something.
Win. I don't think the Bears don't deserve that type of respect. That's basically what I'm saying. Not just yet. Next year, we'll talk something different. But right now, the Bears have to still earn it. I don't want to put the Bears on a platform that they haven't earned yet. We're still getting there. I expect the Bears to be 5-2 after this week. But I'm not putting them in the same caliber as Detroit yet until we see Detroit and make Detroit,
your humbleness sickens me.
Just
want you to know that.
But that's what they call me humble pay in the streets, man. I just,
Now, just to let you know, DVOA has your offense ranking 25th.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of growth to be done on the offensive side of the ball, and you need some linemen bad.
Well, we are coaching. We got different. We're coaching the linemen, the offense a little better now. Beginning of the season, what we had going out there, what we was putting out there in front of everybody wasn't the best representation of what we have. Now, I don't think the linemen that we have are the greatest in the world. I definitely don't. But there's ways around having lesser talents on the offensive line. In any skill, any position, right? There's ways around it. You can scheme around, scheme up, do all types of things. And that's what the Bears and under Shane Walter have done the last few weeks. They've played to our strengths. As far as our offense, right, we had the first 3 weeks of the season, offense was abysmal. And the numbers still reflect that. If you look at our average numbers, not even advanced numbers like DVOA, our average numbers, the offense is still pretty below average. But we're not. But what did we talk about in the beginning of the season? Beginning of this episode. No one remembers the first thing. Remember, we are what have you done for me lately? And lately, the Bears offense and defense have kicked ass. And I expect that to continue moving on forward, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The next few weeks, we ain't playing nobody. Now, we'll tell you, when we play the Patriots, it is a bye week.
Okay.
Hey, it gives you time to develop your young quarterback.
That's true. And every additional game against a substandard team like the Patriots is just more practice time, more live practice, more drills. Caleb can use that.
Drills.
Caleb can use it, No rookie can't use extra practice. I'll take it.
Extra drills is crazy.
Jesus.
The Chicagoans love the drills.
We do. Drill is what we do.
Yeah.
Drill is what we do. The home of the drill.
Home of the drill.
What in the 63rd is going on?
What's the line for your team's game there, Dave?
That's a good question. I know we're favored. Let's see.
I want to know who's the biggest favorite going into this weekend.
We're favored by 3, same as you.
Okay, and I'm assuming that's you add 10 to that, you'll get the Lions line.
Lions are favored by
11.
11.
Yeah,
I was close.
You were close.
I was close. Bye week.
Uh-huh.
At home.
I mean, you guys played them too.
Yeah, and we beat them. So I expect to see you all do even worse.
Any given Sunday, man. Still got to line up and play.
That's true. Sundays have been Sundaying a lot this season, but I expect you all to win, and I expect to hear a very rambunctious and jovial post game show after the win. Where can everyone hear this jovial post game show after you all go 6-1 on the season?
You can knock it off, Pay. You can check us out at Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube and any of the audio aggregators. Just follow us, Bleachers to Speakers FFSN. Make sure you hit that notification bell and download those episodes. And I will be going live from Aruba.
Oh,
yeah.
Have you checked out the internet there? Will you have signal?
Good point.
If not, I'm not going. Hey, I'll just foster.
You gonna take your Starlink antenna onto the beach with you?
Hey, if it's that big of a deal, I won't even. I'll just relax.
I can hold it down.
That's right. We got faith in you, Foster. Dave, you always on your platform. You go live at the 2-minute warning. Where can anybody see the 2-minute warning show on Vikings First and Skull?
A Vikings First and Skull YouTube, we go live at the 2-minute warning, just like we said. Sometimes a little bit before. You get play-by-play from me as we watch the last final 2 minutes and we react to how the game went together. And it's crazy. Last week, with the game coming down, we finally went ahead of the Lions and within the 2 minutes, and then we let it go at the very end. So it gets wild sometimes in those final 2 minutes. And if we go into overtime, we're live then too. So it's bonus football if that's the case. But we have a blast over at Vikings First and Skull. You catch us on the YouTube channel. You can catch us on your favorite podcast aggregator. You can catch us over at Fans First Sports Network. We even have written stuff. And you can also find us on Facebook at Vikings First and Skull.
Always good content on Vikings First Skull. One of my favorite YouTube channels. Same thing with Bleachers to Speakers. Bleachers to Speakers. I'm sorry. Basketball season starting up. I can't wait for those post-game
Tonight.
shows.
Tonight.
Started last night for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, they kind of made me mad.
Mm-hmm.
Let the Lakers get off.
Lakers, it was a historic night in La La Town, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, forget
father, son. Yeah.
I don't want to get started on the Lakers. But
well, Lakers did
June's favorite team.
I hate the Lakers.
Wow, man. That's a lot of resentment.
A lot.
In 1988, that was a long time ago.
It doesn't matter. I still don't like them.
2000
and we showed
and
we showed them in 89 and 2004. Pay. Don't do that.
Yeah, so I wanted. So what? You should.
Hey,
get over it by now.
Hey, don't get on the list, Pay.
Jeez, I
bring up 88. You just triggered something with 88. I was cool.
It's merely a fetus then.
You brought up 88.
All right. No Laker talk. No Laker talk. All right. Everybody, make sure you check out those two platforms. They're great content. You won't be disappointed. These guys give you the best information that you need to football, basketball, and even more than that. Right. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell, so you never miss a drop. And if you're watching this, you already know what this show is. Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Everything Chicago. Don't miss it. We are
always frustrated.
You can't get right with Chicago sports sometimes. And the best reason to follow all of our platforms is that if you watch this show rotates. It will be on the Bleachers to Speakers channel next week. Same bat time, same bat. Well, not the same bat channel. Bleachers and Speakers. Check them out. We'll be back next Wednesday. Dave, what do we say on the way out?
Skull Vikings.
The two traveling guys from 313. What you all say on the way out?
Kind of vicious.
Kind of.
A little light today.
It's a kind.
They're wore out from beating us last week.
Well, hold on. No, we're not.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even
Not
worse.
doing that.
Yeah, what's going
Now.
on? I don't understand.
And as you all already know,
The Bears.
That's disgusting.
bear down, everybody. Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.